God divided the light from the darkness, and God called the light day, and the darkness he called
the MexXxicutioner! The MexXxicutioner!
Congratulations, you made yourself look like a fool. At least one of you had the balls to make a video response and not just type in, jibba jabba in text. I give him credit for that. This is my response to his video that he put up of me, where he basically tries to take me down a peg, shit on everything I've said thus far. He says he doesn't find me entertaining yet. He says he laughs at when I act like a tough guy. You know, it's not an act. You all know this by now, but apparently he found it somewhat entertaining in that respect for him to be able to laugh at it. So, yeah, he says I'm contradictory. There's his contradiction. He says I look like a silly little kid up here, yet he's the one who has to wear a fucking mask in all of his videos. Who's the one who's looking silly? You're the hypocrite here, not me. Alright, all the facts are laid out. I address everything he says in this. Yeah, he tried so hard, you know, and he failed. It was a bold experiment, valiant effort. And what's really sad is he seems like a really well-spoken and articulate guy, but it was all for naught because he left out. I say this time and time again in the video because it keeps coming up. Almost every segment that he talks about, it keeps coming up because he neglected a lot of things that I did say. He used what I said against me because I did say those things, but the fact of the matter is he left out a lot of the other stuff that was that was included in that, and therefore left himself open. So with that said, this is the response to him, and I had a good time while making this. I won't do too many of these for certain people. I don't think this guy really deserves it. Oh, furthermore, he said in his video, he clearly stated, I'm a tool and I should stop making videos. Yet he wanted me to, he said he wanted me to post a video response to him. So again, contradictory on his behalf, not mine. You know, all the facts are out there. As far as what I said, you can go back and review all my other stuff if you want, but it's true. So, here it is. Enjoy. And the first thing he mentions is my first video, one of the teasers I made. Obviously the first one, and he goes and says, he's like, oh, black background, red letters. Yeah, so what? Those are my favorite colors. Black, red on black, I love it. But he says he really thinks he's going to be controversial. Let's see how controversial he's going to be. I never said I was going to be controversial. Alright, if you perceived that video as me thinking I'm going to be controversial, then that's the way you perceived it, alright? I not once did I say I'm going to be controversial. I'm not setting out to be either. So if that's the vibe you're getting, then that's the vibe you're getting. But again, that's your opinion. Alright, he goes on to discuss the second one, and he goes, blah, 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 I'm somebody to be reckoned with. He's saying that I say this. Yeah, again, I didn't say that. New voices, social commentary, that I did say, clearly. And I believe it's still true. Because, frankly, what I'm doing right now, as far as what I'm saying, isn't really being done on YouTube, as far as I know, alright? I don't watch too much of the other stuff. There's a lot I watch of. I mainly go on it for comedy and music. And occasionally I'll watch a blog here or two. But really, none of those people catch my interest. So, I mean, I'm not saying there is or isn't other people like me on here. I'm just saying I don't know about them, if there is. And, he says I'm wrapped up in myself. Give me a break. Again, if that's the way you see it, then that's the way you see it, but this is just me being me, alright? Alright, so he talks about my first video, and it's funny because he doesn't even talk about what I talked about. He mentions it. He says, he talks about Lonely Girl 15, he talks about Renetto, he talks about Brookers, and he even mentions Carson Daly, and that's the synopsis of his whole video. Well, no, it isn't. You didn't mention anything that I actually said. Again, you're leaving out information. And the whole reason I mentioned Carson Daly is because Brookers works for him. She does. She does now. Look it up. That's the only reason why I mentioned him. Again, you left out a whole bunch of information. So, it gets better. Alright, he goes on to say that, about my next one about pedophiles and the truth commercials, he goes on to say that I get most of my information from TV and Wikipedia. Alright, I'm familiar with Wikipedia. Can't say I've actually ever used it. Don't really need to. And he says I get my information and points of view, most of it from TV. Alright, obviously we're going to get a lot of our information from television and the internet. I mean, look at the time we live in. I also read the newspaper a lot. And I follow up on CNN all the time. But for him to say obviously we all get our information from those outlets, but for him to say I get my points of view from that, no, my points of view are my own. They're my own opinions. They're based off of the information that I receive, just like anybody else. So, yeah, there you go. You just screwed yourself again. You left out other important information. So here we go again. Alright, this is where he gets completely ridiculous and makes himself look even stupider than he already does. I think you can tell that he does, but he goes into talking about critiquing my video about Goth Reaper, saying, you're going after the easiest target. Yep. Yeah, I was. So, it was easy. It's fun. Said I'm not overly controversial or entertaining. Okay. Again, your own opinion. Never claimed to be controversial or entertaining. If you find me either one of those, then okay. But again, I never claimed to be controversial. I never claimed to be entertaining. I just claimed that this is me being me, posting it up here. Let's see. Oh, he said, do something worth some skill, and maybe I'll subscribe. I don't need your subscription. I don't need your approval. And obviously, you care a great deal about what I'm having to say, or at least you think you have something important to say by making this video yourself, a 9-minute video about everything I've said. Probably just because you want attention, because you know some people are watching my videos and you figure, hey, I've had my account for 2 weeks. I need to wear a mask to get attention as it is. I'm going to go after this guy because he goes after other people. Which is fine, because, again, I said if it's up here, it's fair game. I'm fair game. Go after me. I welcome this sort of thing, but do your homework before you actually do this. Or, I mean, I guess this guy kind of did, but he left out, again, a lot of information that makes him look stupid. Oh, and this is one of the first times he says this at least, let's see. He says this at least 4 times. Yeah, actually 5. 4 or 5 times he says, he mentions this, he goes, "You're 5'7", Travis." What does that have to do with anything? Alright, congratulations, asshole. You went to my MySpace page, which has 2 links to it on my channel on YouTube, and you found, it says I'm 5'7", and it says my name. Great, you found out information that anybody can get. That's why it's up there for people to look at if they want to. That's why I put it up there. You're not proving anything by saying I'm 5'7". So I'm 5'7". What are you, Andre the fuck Giant? What does that matter? And you said Goth Reaper would you said the fact that I'm 5'7" and making fun of somebody with a speech impediment is ironic? How is that ironic? That is not even in the narrowest term of the definition ironic. Alright, it would be ironic if I myself had a speech impediment, or had something wrong with my brain, if I was somehow retarded. But, so I'm slightly below average height for my age. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything, alright? You're going after something that's mundane. Alright, go after what I say, not that. That's just making you look... You look like a desperate man saying that, because you have nothing else to say. Oh, and also in that, he says I look sillier than I think I look, and people say, you talk to people that say I just look silly, and I'm just a silly little kid, huh? Yeah, that's sad for you to think that. You know, you say that I do the internet tough guy thing, when in fact you're the one doing it. I'm not doing the internet tough guy thing. All right, this is just me. I'm an asshole. I'm like this in person. Alright? My mouth gets me into trouble. Nothing I haven't been able to handle so far. So, if you'd like to try me, you know, come to Mass, or tell me where you're from, and I'll gladly go there and rearrange your face. So, I'll make you have to wear the mask in public. That's a fucking promise, alright? I don't make threats, I make promises. So, please. It's an open invitation. If you want to see what I'm capable of, alright? Alright, again, he leaves out more information talking about my President Bush rant. Says, again, everything you spewed into this community you got off of the news or at the water cooler at work or off of Wikipedia. And you say it's all very vague and rudimentary information. Well, again, here's one thing that you left out that I said. It's a direct quote from my video. I said, I'm not telling you anything that you shouldn't already know. And the fact that I said that this is the first part of what will be a multiple series of talking about this topic, about President Bush and our current state as a country. Conveniently, you left that out as well. So again, no, you're wrong. The information I get is obviously off the news. Where do you want me to get my information from? Alright? You say that I said I don't follow politics, and yet I make a 16-20-minute video about it with all these opinions, and I did say something along the lines of that, but I didn't say I don't follow politics. What I said was, I was talking about Jeb Bush being governor of Florida, and I said I don't know whether he is or isn't anymore. I don't follow those little things. I follow the bigger stories. Again, conveniently you left that out as well. So, yeah, you're making yourself look like a complete fucking tool. You say I am, but look at you. Seriously. Oh, you say I'm very naive, immature, and I'm ignorant. And those things couldn't be further from the truth, alright? You may think that. I don't know who you think you are, being all high and mighty like this, but it's pretty sad on your behalf to have to say all these things, because they're obviously not true. You're just making things up. Everything I say is fact. So, if you don't like it, then tough shit. I mean, obviously you're going to keep watching what I say, even though you say I'm not overly entertaining. I mean, you're the one who's being contradictory, alright? And we're getting up onto that right now. Alright, here he says I've become a total hypocrite and contradictory because I start talking about subscribers and comments and stuff like that, and he says because I've said this before, I don't care about the numbers. It's not a numbers thing, this YouTube thing for me. It's just for me to get... It's an outlet. Again, I've said it before. You know, he leaves out this information as well. He says I turn into a total hypocrite and I'm contradictory because I say I don't care about these things, which I don't. They're not a big deal to me, the numbers. And then I go and say, oh, I was like the 45th most discussed thing that day. Well, I was just stating a fact. Alright? Because people are like, oh, we don't like you. You're going nowhere, your videos suck, blah, 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 you're an asshole. And yet, all that talk got me to the 45th most discussed topic of that day. I was just stating a fact, alright? It wasn't for my own ego that I mentioned that, alright? It was just a fact. I was just stating it. And as far as me saying, I only addressed my subscribers a couple times. I said I had 8 because I was mocking Tube Granny, because he said, oh, you have 5, and then it turned into 8, like, within a day. I was just poking fun at him, because I was saying, oh, look, it's 8 now. Whoop-de shit. and the only other time I addressed it is when I was saying, thank you to the people who did subscribe. Because, look, it's not about the numbers. The fact that people are actually watching me is what I care about. Okay? The numbers thing are secondary to that main fact. I don't... You know, I have over 3,000 views, whatever. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is people watching what I'm saying and agreeing with me. And what matters to me even more are people like you are getting all bent out of shape and making stupid videos like this. I mean... You say you don't care about what I have to say and that I'm boring or whatever and not controversial, and yet here you are, the one making a 9-minute long video all about me. Thank you. And again, he mentions the 5'7" thing, and I look like I weigh $130 soaking wet. Well, I weigh $135 dry. So, yeah, again, wrong. And he goes on to say, it's a tough guy act. Again, it's not an act, if you want to find out. And you go on to say something along the lines of, that's probably why he does the heavy metal thing and is trying to grow dreads. Alright. Heavy metal's in my blood. I've been listening. It's my first love as far as music goes. I'm in a heavy metal band. My first concert was Metallica and Guns N' Roses when I was like 7 or 8. And as far as the dreads go, they'd be a little longer now, but this happened way before the YouTube thing. In high school, well, 4 or 5 years ago, I started growing them. They'd be longer now, but I had to cut them for a job promotion, and so 2 years ago, I cut them, but a year ago, I started doing it again. So, yeah, that... What a fucking retard. You have nothing important to say whatsoever. You know, you're just taking easy stabs at me, and, you know, you said I took easy stabs, an easy shot at Goth Reaper, because it was easy, and it was fun. But you're taking easy shots at me, but it doesn't prove anything. Alright? At least people agreed with me what I said about Goth Reaper. You're, yeah. You're taking shots at that. It's something you know nothing about. So... Again. No. Alright, this is where I proceeded to piss myself with laughter. He talks about the hate mail video and saying that I get hypocritical again, saying I don't care about what people think about me, because I don't. But I go on to read the hate mail thing and address them because it's funny. Some of the stuff that you people write is genuinely... It's comedic gold. Alright? It's hilarious. And so I feel I should share that with the people that actually care about what I have to say. And, yeah, so he says I'm a hypocrite for that. And, you know, because I'm saying one thing and doing another. Well, not at all, because I clearly stated why I was doing it. And, you know, it's, again, you said that I said, oh, it's for your enjoyment. And, well, that's what it is. And it's for my own enjoyment. I like addressing these things because it gives me something else to talk about, alright? I'm sure if you got the same kind of, you know, shit spewed back at you, you talk about it too. So, oh, and yeah, here's where I nearly soiled myself. You said, you're making yourself look like a fool. Stop making videos. I'm making myself look like a fool while you're the one wearing a fucking mask? Give me a fucking break. you're the one who should stop making videos, because you're obviously just looking for attention by, taking shots at me right now, which is fine. I can't say I blame you, but and you talk about the whole tough guy thing again, and again, it might be funny to you, but this is just who I am. Go on my MySpace, talk to my friends, ask them, they'll tell you, this is the way I am. Alright, this isn't an act. What you're doing is an act. And it's pretty bad. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Alright, he talks about the crying video that I responded to. Again, he has to bring up the 5'7" thing again. For what reason, I don't know. Whoop-de fucking shit. I'm 5'7". Big deal. You say, if you look at Goth Reaper's crying video, this MexXxicutioner guy, that's probably him in the lunch. That's probably how he was in the lunch line at elementary school. No, I was a class clown. I was far from bullied. Alright, that didn't happen to me because everybody liked me. And you say I'm a tool and not overly controversial. Again, not trying to be anything but myself. So, if you get the vibe that I'm trying to be controversial, then again, that's just you. I'm just speaking my mind and my opinions. If that's the way it comes off to you, then that's the way you perceive it. And your perception of things is very skewed. I believe you're the ignorant one. And you are the naive one. And you can't actually accept things the way they are. You have to try and dig deeper to look for a hidden meaning for what I'm doing here, like it's some kind of act. But it isn't, alright? You can think that all you want. Whatever helps you sleep at night, buddy. But, again, it's not true, alright? Time and time again, I will say that because that's the truth, alright? And I think you had one more thing to say. Again, he goes on to say I'm not controversial, I'm just... You're just stupid. And you want me to... You're like, oh, I just want you to show me up or whatever, give you something to work with. What am I supposed to do for you? Who the fuck are you, pal? Seriously, am I here solely for your entertainment or your amusement or your, lack of, balls? You gotta actually take shots at me to make up for, shortcomings in your life or whatever? It's really sad to see you do this. And again, you have to bring up the 5'7" thing. I mean, seriously, drop it. The fact that you have to use that so many times just proves how much of an idiot you are. And the fact that you really have nothing important to say. Yeah, and you end it going, Travis, you're 5'7", you're a fucking tool. Thanks. Thank you. Finally some recognition. That just proves that I'm, what I had set out to do, which was piss people off, has worked. But yeah, I just find this hilarious. Because, I just went through it. You tried to dissect what I said, and by leaving things out, you left yourself open to be dissected yourself, and I just did that. So, I exposed you in your false information. A lot of what you said was true because it was based on fact, but again, you conveniently left out a lot of things just to make your point seem valid, and it wasn't. You went to my MySpace and found out my name and my height. Well, congratulations. You did what everybody else did. You went to my MySpace page and looked up general information. You had to say I'm 5'7" 5 times, if not more. Just to make yourself feel bigger. Whatever, if you're not getting laid enough, then that's your problem, or whatever the problem is. I don't know. I don't want to know. But, feel free to do another one, because again, I don't care about the numbers, and you people don't want me to be popular on here, but by doing things like this, you're getting me more views. Alright? You're only hurting yourselves. If you don't want me to be seen, then don't comment, don't reply, don't do anything. If you don't like it, don't say anything. Alright? Because in the long run, if you do, you're just getting me more attention, which is what you don't want. Okay? I don't care. I really don't. I'm not a hypocrite. I've only stated facts to back myself up in certain scenarios where people were saying certain things. And that's the fact of the matter. And, this guy, Mr. Colorado Black Mountain, Brokeback Mountain, whatever the fuck his name is, he's the big tool, alright? He needs a gimmick, a mask, just to get people interested in what he's saying. Because they see the little clip up there of the still of the video, and it's him wearing some old man mask, and it's like, ooh, this guy might be funny. Well, he's not. He's not interesting. He tries to analyze people, or at least me in this case, overanalyze me, and it's pretty funny because he was wrong in pretty much everything he said. Like I said before, he did have facts to back up what he said, but if he had just not left out a lot of the information that he did, he wouldn't have a video to make. So, yeah, nice try. F-.